We are on the verge of some of the most bullish price action for Bitcoin and for the rest of the crypto market. In today's video, we'll be going over some very crucial news that you need to be aware of, and we'll also be taking a look at some trading setups for not just Bitcoin, but also for altcoins. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Let's jump right into the video. So first up, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, we can see that since coming back down to below 102.5K, we have since bounced up with a lot of bullish news currently happening. As I showed you in the last video, I tend to change the color of these lines once we have marked checkpoints, and we have since passed these levels once again, and it's looking very promising for Bitcoin. Now, the crucial level that we are on the lookout for is this 106.1K level, because we can see that previously here, right before Christmas, we tapped into that level and came crashing right back down all the way to $89,000. Now we have wicked above it, marking almost $110,000, and once again, after a few more wicks, we came back down to retest the 100K level. And now it's looking like we're finally making some more momentum to move higher. If we get a daily close above 106K, it's game on for Bitcoin and it's game on for the rest of the crypto market. What I would personally expect for Bitcoin, if we are to break this 106K level for good, would be a little bit more chopping around. Perhaps we explode to the upside, come back and test it as support, and then move on higher, dragging the rest of the market with it. We have so many bullish narratives lining up for crypto, and it's so funny because it seems like the sentiment is continuously shifting between ultra bear, the cycle is over, and ultra bull, we're going to $1 million. Make sure you're staying level-headed. Look at the charts, what is it telling you, and look at the fundamentals. Now, a very interesting observation that I discussed actually with Andy, I'm sure you know him from Bitcoinsensus. If you don't, make sure to go and subscribe to this guy's channel. But we were just discussing before I started filming this video that basically Total 2 is repeating the same pattern that we saw in the previous bull market cycle. And this is the high from 2 cycles ago. Then in the previous cycle, in February of the post-halving year, we can see that we were attacking this resistance before finally exploding to the upside and setting a new all-time high for Total 2. Now it's looking very similar to this past pattern because we can see now that we are in January of the post-halving year. The previous high here is around $1.13 trillion, and we are just below this level. And if history rhymes here, it's looking like we can explode to the upside, perhaps by February. Obviously, no one has a crystal ball here, but if history rhymes, it's looking very bullish, and the same setup is playing out right in front of our eyes. It could happen at the end of this month, it could happen in February, it could happen in March, but it's looking like it's very aligned. You know, if I zoom into this right here and we go on the daily chart, we can see that we've been consolidating below the previous all-time high for Total 2. Now, of course, we were expecting some kind of resistance here because it's a massive resistance zone. But once we break above this level and hold it as support, it's go time for altcoins. And in the meantime, if you're looking for a potential long setup on Bitcoin, I would look to break above 106K on the daily, hold it as support, and I would enter a long, targeting all the way up to the previous wick, which at the bare minimum is $110,000, although I think we can go much higher, perhaps 120, 130, 140. Only time will tell, but it's looking very bullish for Bitcoin at the moment. If you want to make any of the trades that I talk about on this channel, make sure to sign up to Weeks, which is the first link in my description down below. You can even earn up to $20,000 in bonuses for signing up with my link and my link only. This is my go-to platform for making all of the trades that I talk about on this channel. Now, some extremely bullish news came out last night. First of all, the SEC lifted its crypto custody ban for banks, meaning that banks could technically hold crypto, and it also means that you'll probably be able to technically hold your crypto with your banks. Now, if you're in the decentralized world as I am, you likely don't want to hold your crypto with your banks, but this is a huge stepping stone for retails that don't want to use crypto exchanges. Super bullish news indeed. Then we also have some more accumulation from World Liberty Financial. I told you in my previous video, these guys have been accumulating crypto like madmen. In particular, Ethereum, they're now holding just under $200 million worth of Ethereum, and we can see that they continue to buy and continue to stake that Ethereum. If the market was headed lower, do you really think that Trump's company would be accumulating Ethereum so aggressively? I don't think so. And then we have some positive news as it pertains to Ledger's co-founder. So if you weren't aware, David Ballin and his wife were abducted from their homes and taken to separate locations. The kidnappers demanded 100 Bitcoin ransom from another co-founder and even sent David's severed fingers as proof. So supposedly part of this ransom was actually paid to buy extra time. And since then, France's elite unit located and rescued David. Hours later, they also freed his wife, who was found tied up in a car. Most of the ransom was tracked and frozen. So very positive news that they were saved, but it's horrible that this happened to them. And this is just a reminder that if you are a public crypto person, it's important to take your security very seriously. I'm glad that they made it out and they're home safe. Now here I'm taking you to my X account, which is where I post all of the bullish news as it happens. But late last night, Trump actually put in an executive order to develop a national digital asset stockpile in the USA. Super bullish news for crypto. Now, he hasn't necessarily talked about the strategic Bitcoin reserve yet, but everyone is saying that it's imminent. If this were to happen, I think that all of their seized Bitcoin would likely just get locked up and not sold on the market, and they likely wouldn't start buying a ton of Bitcoin immediately. Remember, this would very much be a long-term program. So while I am bullish, I'm not as bullish as some of the creators in the space that are talking about the fact that the US will just immediately start buying a bunch of Bitcoin. It's likely that their seized Bitcoin will first be held and won't be sold, and over time they will gradually increase that stockpile. And we had something pretty funny happen. So previously on this channel we talked about Senator Cynthia Loomis, who is very bullish on Bitcoin and crypto in particular. She posted on Twitter last night, big things are happening, and the B is the Bitcoin logo, as you can see in my CBM name. Then she said, stay tuned for 10 a.m. The price of Bitcoin absolutely skyrocketed when she put this tweet out. She gained a ton of followers, and then we got news that came out that said that the Senate Banking Committee was set to vote on whether or not Senator Loomis could become the chair of digital assets. And while this is of course bullish for the entire crypto market, because she is of course bullish, the market tanked after this because everyone was expecting a positive announcement in regards to the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and this wasn't the case. But we can't deny that this still gave us some momentum, because while we came back down to below $103,000, Bitcoin has since recovered nicely, and we are now still firmly on our way up to new all-time highs. Okay, so that covers the Bitcoin chart where I'm looking to potentially trade this price action, the total 2 market cap, and some very bullish news indeed that came straight out of the United States of America. Now let's get to the part where I start talking about a couple of altcoins that I've been eyeing out, looking at key levels, and also some previous calls that I made and how they turned out. First massive one that we talked about here is Toshi. Now, if you didn't know, Toshi is a meme coin on the Base network, and I talked about this coin right around these levels where it was actually added to the Coinbase roadmap. And I told you we would likely get a pump once it got added to the Coinbase roadmap, which is exactly what happened. Then we got some more consolidation, and of course, as expected, when it gets actually listed on Coinbase, that's when we can see another huge pump, and that's exactly what happened. If we go down here, we can see that it did indeed get listed on Coinbase Spot, and now that it's been listed, the price skyrocketed. We got in right around these levels, already marking a 2 to 3x from where we entered. So if you followed that trade, congratulations. And if you didn't, no worries. There's tons of opportunities in this market. Just make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you get all of the calls that I'm making. Now, another very interesting altcoin that I'm currently looking at, which I have not yet entered, is Rune. So recently, if you weren't aware, Rune actually crashed 30% amid Thorchain insolvency speculation. I'll just give you the key takeaways here. So there were some concerns about Thorchain's debt, estimated at nearly $200 million, having triggered panic selling around Rune. The trading volume surpassed $650 million and could, of course, intensify the downwards pressure if sustained. And in the short term, while there were some concerns, the price of Rune absolutely plummeted. Now, usually an excellent strategy in crypto is to buy the fear. I don't think that we're necessarily going to pump from here. But what I will say is entirely possible, and we've seen it on several altcoins, once they hit this range low where a lot of the volume comes in, as we can see the point of control down here, it's likely that we consolidate around these levels, and who knows, it could take a few weeks to a matter of months. But in my opinion, the outcome is inevitable, and we may very well pump to the upside, targeting the top of this range right around $11 should Thorchain resolve some of their issues. We've seen this countless times, and it could very well be an excellent trade to make. Now, again, if you're looking to make any of the trades that I talk about on this channel, make sure to sign up to Weeks, which is the first link in my description. Again, you can earn up to $20,000 in bonuses just for making these trades. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Rune will just explode immediately. It could take quite a few weeks or months, as I said, to consolidate at these lower levels. But I do think that there's a very strong chance that we could see reversal here if the market holds steady and continues its upwards momentum. And that sums up today's video. There are so many bullish narratives getting thrown around at the moment, and I don't think that this is the part of the cycle where you want to exit quite yet. I know a lot of people are calling for the top, but I firmly believe, looking at all the data points and all of the charts that I showed you this week and in this video, that we are not near the bull market top. There's a lot of solid trades for altcoins lining up, and everything is looking very solid. All we need now from Bitcoin is to break above 106K on the daily time frame, hold it as support, and then it's time to set new all-time highs. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.